Greetings everyone, I'm Prince B, coming at you once again with more Amiibo to unbox. Today we have the new Splatoon, Callie and Mari, Calamari, the Squid Sister 2-pack. Don't know how to pronounce her name. Like, is there an official, pronunciation guide on that? I have no idea. I've seen it, pronounced, 3 different ways. But anyways, we got these two. Pretty excited. I kind of figured these Amiibo would happen eventually, but I kind of figured that they'd hold off until the inevitable sequel that I'm sure we'll see at some point down the line. Probably on NX or something. Probably not a launch title, but I feel like eventually with the success of this series we'll see a sequel, and I figured they'd wait on these two until then. It's kind of nice to see Nintendo giving it a huge send-off, recognizing its success by making probably the 2 most requested characters as Amiibo. And I don't know fully what they do. I know that they let you change your plaza tonight, and they have exclusive songs or something like that. I don't know if that's all they do yet. I haven't looked into it just because I kind of want to see for myself what they do. I just know that they do that. Anyway, let's get started on these two. In terms of which Squid Sister I like more, because that's always the inevitable debate amongst fans of the game. Who's your favorite Squid Sister? I don't actually have too much of a preference. I mean, I kind of like both their personalities. They both play off each other well. I don't think you can really have one and have them work that well without the other to bounce off of. With Mary over here, which is how we're going to pronounce it. She kind of plays the straight man to Callie's Cloud Cuckoo Lander. So, I mean, I just feel like you can't really have one without the other. In terms of Splatfests, I tend to end up on Callie's side. I know a lot of people were back when popularity would always doom you to a loss, and Mary's team was always more popular. People were just choosing Callie's team to get easy wins during Splatfests. But I actually most of the ones that I liked ended up being on Callie's side. I mean, I did lose my one. I did lose some, but just generally, whatever team I actually liked the theme of, would end up on Callie's side. With the last Splatfest announced, I haven't actually chosen because, like I said, I don't really have a preference. I feel like you can't really have one without the other. So I decided, in honor of the Amiibo, I figured, why don't we choose what team I join for Splatfest based off which Amiibo I end up liking more. But that'll probably be pretty close considering they both look pretty good from outside the box. But why don't we take a closer look now? Here we go. Start over here with Callie. Love the pink ink. Looks pretty good. I like this translucent thing they've got going on for the tentacles, or for the tips of the tentacles anyway. It looks really nice. You can tell that they didn't want to just kind of do these halfway. If they were going to do these, they wanted to put in a lot of love, a lot of passion, I feel like, for Splatoon, because it's been such a huge success for Nintendo. It's just kind of a shame that the Wii U didn't do better, because I feel like Splatoon was kind of hindered by that. But I kind of still stand by what I said in my Splatoon review. I feel like if you own a Wii U, Splatoon is one of the must-own titles. I don't even like shooters, and I love Splatoon. Love-hate. When I go to ranked mode, that relationship with Splatoon suddenly turns very rapidly to a deep, angry hatred. So much salt. So much salt. Anyways, back to the figure itself. I do prefer Callie's pose here. I think it just it's a little more playful, which kind of fits her personality, but it's just more interesting, I feel like. I mean, it's a pretty similar pose, but the way her leg kind of crosses, it kind of lends itself more to a sense of movement. Her eye is shut like she usually does. Like her eye usually she winks when she does her pose. So I feel like they did a good job kind of capturing her spirit here. The ink is nice and glossy, just like the old Splatoon amiibo. Overall, just a really high quality figure. I think I'm leaning towards this right now, but we'll take a look at Mary over here in a second. Also, they both have these sparkles on their dress. It looks really nice. Like I said, just a lot of detail put into these figures. They look really good. I'm glad that they waited on these and didn't release these when the game launched, because I feel like even though the Splatoon amiibo, when the game launched and when they were kind of what got me started collecting amiibo because they looked so fantastic, I feel like they've progressed so much further since then that if these had been released then, I feel like they would have been kind of lackluster compared to what we actually ended up getting. They probably wouldn't have had the little sparkles on their dresses. The tentacles wouldn't have been translucent. So I'm happy that even though we had to wait on them, I'm glad that that's a thing, because I feel like we got a higher quality product from waiting. Also, didn't really see any seams here, so that's cool. And I still love the fact that they use the ink as a support so that they can do these crazy poses, but not have them look really awkward like the Smash Bros. Ones. On to Marie. Like I said, I prefer Callie's pose. I think Callie's pose is a little, like I said, more playful. Marie's pose is like her game pose, but I just don't feel like her game pose was as dynamic, I guess. So I mean, they captured her in-game pose, but her in-game pose just wasn't as good, and her figure kind of suffers for that. I don't know. I also like that Callie's got that smile going on, whereas Mary kind of just looks like she's like, yeah, I'm here, but I'm not particularly enthusiastic about it. I kind of like her little hat thingy better than Callie's, though I don't know what that is, but this actually is. I like this one better. Overall, they're both really good, but I feel like Callie's is just a bit more to my preference. They even went to the trouble of putting a texture on the shoe. I mean, I know they do that, but it's just still kind of always neat to just kind of notice that. There's not too much to say about Mary that I didn't say about Callie, because they're pretty similar, but there are still some noticeable differences. And I feel like I think I like Callie's more. I think I'm going to be Team Callie for the final Splatfest, because I just happen to like her amiibo a little more. I feel like it's a little more dynamic. Anyways, that's the Squid Sister amiibo. Really cool to have. Like I said, glad that we had to wait on those, just because I feel like we got a nicer final product. Thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you guys next time with some more amiibo content.